long way to go, absolutely. Long way to go, but we need to find out what it was. There was too much input from the throttle that he didn't give, and booing is not good.
Toto Wolff stood in front of the cameras after the Hungarian Grand Prix and called a group of rival race engineers Teletubbies on live television. Now, normally a team boss does not throw an insult like that around for no reason. He did it because Formula One's entire flag warning system broke down in the middle of a Grand Prix, and almost nobody on the pit wall knew how to handle it. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how one small software glitch turned into the most chaotic afternoon of the season. This was not a quiet midfield race either. This was the final Grand Prix before the summer break, the one every driver wanted to finish on a high, and it turned into 70 laps of confusion instead. Here is how the system is supposed to work. When a leader is about to lap a slower car, the FIA's electronic system detects it automatically. A blue light flashes on the slower driver's steering wheel, along with his own car number, so he knows for certain the flag is meant for him. It is instant. It is automatic. Nobody has to think about it. On lap 6 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, that system broke. Think about that for a second. Instead of only alerting the cars actually about to be lapped, it started sending blue flags to almost everyone at the same time. And the car numbers disappeared completely. Drivers were staring at a flashing blue light with no idea whether it applied to them, the car ahead, or the car behind. Oliver Bearman noticed it almost immediately. 6 laps into the race, his dashboard lit up blue, which made no sense. Nobody gets lapped that early. From that point on, he says he was getting blue flag warnings on almost every single lap for the rest of the race. On lap 6 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, that system broke. Think about that for a second. Instead of only alerting the cars actually about to be lapped, it started sending blue flags to almost everyone at the same time. And the car numbers disappeared completely. Drivers were staring at a flashing blue light with no idea whether it applied to them, the car ahead, or the car behind. Oliver Bearman noticed it almost immediately. 6 laps into the race, his dashboard lit up blue, which made no sense. Nobody gets lapped that early. From that point on, he says he was getting blue flag warnings on almost every single lap for the rest of the race. That hesitation produced the biggest flashpoint of the entire race. Oscar Piastri had led since the opening lap and looked comfortable on his way to victory. After his second pit stop, he came up behind Carlos Sainz, who was locked in his own battle with Fernando Alonso and had his eyes fixed forward rather than in his mirrors. Because the automatic system had failed, Sainz's dashboard gave him no clear warning. Piastri arrived in his blind spot at exactly the wrong moment, and the two cars made contact at turn 2. It cost Piastri the lead. Norris pitted moments later and came out ahead, going on to win the race. Piastri did not hold back on the radio, calling Sainz an idiot and later telling reporters it was one of the dumbest things he had ever seen on a racetrack. Sainz's defense was simple. He said the warnings on his dash were not working properly and that in the moment, with Alonso right in front of him, he genuinely had no idea Piastri was there. The stewards agreed there were mitigating circumstances and gave him a 5-second penalty instead of the usual 10. Now here is what most people do not realize. Sainz was not the only one caught out. Both Oliver Bearman and Esteban Ocon ended up blocking Isaac Hadjar without realizing they were even racing him. Ocon explained afterward that the panels were flashing constantly with no car numbers attached, so there was simply no way to know who the flag was actually for. He said he had zero feedback on his own dashboard, only the trackside panels, and those panels never told him which car they meant. Bearman picked up a 5-second penalty for the same reason, later admitting he felt genuinely bad about it, since with no working screens in the cockpit, there was no way to separate a real warning from a false one on a lap. He did not even know he was a lap down. And then there was Max Verstappen. Running second and trying to defend a podium, he got stuck behind his own team's sister cars, Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad, who were too busy fighting each other to notice the blue flags meant for them. Verstappen let his frustration go completely on an untelevised radio message, demanding the stewards hand out penalties and calling the pair morons. Even the fight for the final podium spot got dragged into it. As Lewis Hamilton chased Kimi Antonelli in the closing laps, they ran into backmarkers who had no clear instructions from their own pit walls about who was bearing down on them. That is what finally brought Toto Wolff out swinging. He did not blame the drivers stuck in the confusion. He blamed the engineers who should have been talking them through it. The marshalling system not working is one thing, he said. But cars at the back defending against the leaders on top of that is simply not good enough. Then came the line everyone will remember, calling out what he described as Teletubbies engineers sitting on the pit wall and failing to tell their drivers what was happening behind them. To make things worse, the GPS tracking system teams rely on to see exactly where every car is on circuit also went down for a large chunk of the race, only returning properly much later on. That meant even the visual map showing car positions was scrambled at the exact moment engineers needed it most. Antonelli felt the effects of all this directly in the closing laps. While chasing Verstappen for second place with Hamilton bearing down on him from behind, he ran into Gabriele Bortolato's Audi, a car that had no clear signal it was holding up a championship contender. It cost Antonelli time he could not really afford to lose in a title fight that is only getting tighter. He was not wrong to say it. Race engineers exist for exactly this scenario. When the technology goes down, you do not sit and wait. You read the timing screens yourself, you watch the gaps, and you tell your driver what is coming. That is the entire point of the headset. So what did this actually cost in hard numbers? Piastri went from leading the race to retiring with a gearbox failure, 14 laps from home. Sainz finished 18th, lapped twice, nowhere near the fight his pace deserved. And at the front, Lando Norris took the win from Max Verstappen and Kimi Antonelli, with Lewis Hamilton picking up a separate penalty of his own for speeding in the pit lane, dropping him behind his teammate, Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris will remember Hungary as his first win of the season. Everyone else will remember it as the day the sport's most advanced systems failed, and a lot of very well-paid professionals forgot they could still do the job without them. The FIA now has to fix this before the cars roll out again at Zandvoort, because next time, the driver in the car is trusting the person in the headset. And in Hungary, too many of those people did not come through. And this chaos did not just cost lap time, it reshaped the championship picture heading into the break. Antonelli's podium stretched his championship lead out to 50 points over Hamilton and 59 over his own teammate George Russell, while Mercedes now sits 72 points clear of Ferrari in the constructors' fight. A race where the technology completely broke down still ended up deciding who walks into the summer break with momentum. For McLaren, the frustration cuts even deeper. Piastri's retirement leaves the team's own internal battle wide open, and Andrea Stella spent his post-race interviews defending a pit strategy call instead of celebrating a result that, on pure pace, should have belonged to his team. The FIA has already confirmed it is looking into what caused the failure. Formula One now heads into its summer shutdown, but this is not the kind of story that quietly disappears over a few weeks off. When the cars return at Zandvoort, every team on that grid is going to be thinking about Hungary before they say a single word on the radio.